Good morning, mate. How are you getting on? Friday, last day of the week. Chippy tea tonight. It is the law. I've had a lie-in today. I actually feel a ton better. I can actually walk without limping today. So that was a good call. I'll be back in the grind tomorrow and Sunday. But I think I've earned a couple of days off. So not a massive drama. Woke up in the green on the Whoop today. So that's always a win. Right, today we're talking about Joshua Xerxes. So reports are coming out saying that Joshua Xerxes is unhappy at United and is likely to push for a January exit because of the limited minutes that he is getting under Rúben Amorim. And you go, yeah, makes sense. Nobody shocked here, nobody surprised. Maybe a little bit upset because I do think there is a player there. Paid 36 million for him, but he's just not getting a look in. You know, even when we go with a bit of a false nine sort of situation, he clearly isn't what Amorim wants in that position. You know, you're seeing we would rather play no striker than play him. He didn't really get a lot of look in ahead of Højlund last season, despite Højlund stinking the gaff out. He's clearly not someone that he wants to play in one of the sort of inside forward kind of roles. So it would make sense for him to move on, clearly. There's some reports that reckon that Amorim thinks that he lacks the physicality and intensity, which isn't... The intensity I can agree with, but the physicality, like, have you seen the size of him? How is he someone that's not able to impose himself on a game? He's fucking massive. And also, I think he's technically brilliant. I think he's got wonderful vision. Like, I'm sure there's a position for him, and I'm sure there's a player there, but if he's not fitting this system, then he's not going to get amongst it, I don't think. And that's maybe the issue that we've got. What we need in our forward line, we have in our first choice and even second choice forward line. You know, whether it's Sesko, Cunha, Mbuemo, Mount, they're all aggressive pressing forwards that occupy defenders and play at a high tempo. Xerxes, do you know what it is? Xerxes is more of that Berbatov sort of thing. The technical ability is undeniable, but when you're trying to be all action, it's just not his game, is it? So, you know, if Amorim's not seeing that in the matches that he plays in, he's not seeing anything like that in training, he just isn't a fit. You know, and he seems like he's finding a bit of rhythm with that, what I presume is the first choice forward three. First and a bit choice with Mason Mount, I guess. And, you know, he's seemingly fully fit, but just isn't getting any sort of minutes in the game. Now, I think there's a case to be made that if you adapted the system, and maybe there is a way that you can adapt the system in certain games, and you did move in towards that 3-5-2 sort of setup, that having Xerxes alongside a Sesko could be, or even a Cunha, Sesko or Cunha, could be really, or even Mbuemo, could be really, really effective. Like, I thought one of the best games he had was alongside Marcus Rashford. Was it the Everton game? I think it might have been Everton. It was around that sort of time, I think. Anyway, when he had runners ahead of him, like, he gets on the ball, he gets into little pockets, he occupies real nice spaces, and I think he can go on and do some real bits, like. So, if he's not going to be an option right now, is he good enough to maybe maintain and keep hold of and perhaps do... I don't know, do you send him out on loan? I don't know. It feels like it'd be a shame to lose him. You know, should Amorim find a role for him? Or should Xerxes try and adapt? Or is it a case of it's just not something that you can really easily do at that level? No, and how good is he actually? I think he's shown some fantastic touches. I thought that really early substitution that we got off him, or that, you know, when he went down the tunnel against Newcastle last year, I thought that was harsh. Yes, it was bouncing off his knee, and he didn't have a good game. Certainly not going to say it was a good game when it wasn't a good game. But I saw players have worse games for United last season, and I thought he showed a lot of mental strength to come back from that. comes back, scores a winning penalty against Arsenal. Like, I really think there's a player in there for him. But, you know, it's one of them, innit? If it's a case of like, look, we can get rid of him and we can bring in a central midfielder, we go, well, that's upgrading the squad, because we ain't playing him and we would play a central midfielder, I presume. So I can see why that one would make sense in going, especially when you think, you know, there's FFP situations. But I also think that just having him in the squad gives you a tactical flexibility as well, because I think he is such a versatile player with a wonderful touch. If you wanted to move towards being a possession-based team at some point in the future, don't you want people who are good in possession? You know, if we're going to lose players to AFCON, do you not maybe want to keep hold of players that can actually stick around and play? Well, that not be a good idea. So yeah, I think, you know, it's I don't think it's a straightforward thing. I would like to see him played more, but I don't know where the obvious choice is. I don't think he's a better fit. I'm not going to sit here and make the case that he needs to be starting over Mbuemo and Cunha and Sesko, because I think those three are class and I like what they bring and I like what they do. So I'm certainly not going to sit here and tell you that I think he should play. But what would you lot do? Like, I put you in charge. You're director of football at United now. What do you do with Xerxes? Do you play him? Do you try and find a way for him? Do you let him just bide his time and it'll come? Or do you flip him and bring another player in, another position in? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, yeah, that's that, innit? Sunday, doing a bit of a meet-up walk. I will throw the details into Patreon in a couple of hours. If anyone's interested, it's in Mac Forest. So I will throw all the details, timings, etc. in on the Patreon group. So if you're interested, fancy coming and having a bit of an outdoor meet-up. I don't think the weather's particularly fantastic this weekend, but it is what it is. Put a big coat on, or a waterproof coat on, and you'll be right. But yeah, that's that. Later on today, we have got preview coming out for Brighton tomorrow, where it's a massive 3 points. Me and Ronnie are doing XG files, and we're going to do an XG extra as well. So if you can think of anything that you would want us to discuss to go out tomorrow afternoon, let us know. Is it a look ahead to Forest, or is that too early? Should we just save that till next week? Because obviously Forest managed to get Sean Dyche's back, baby. Getting a clean sheet. I think the first clean sheet they've had in 20 games. First, Sean Dyche's back. 2 penalties, clean sheet, beating Porto. Gonna be a fucking nightmare, that, innit, next week. You know it is. You fucking know it is. But anyway, that's it from me. Those 2 vids out today. Probably on a walk tomorrow, because my car feels good today and I need to get a little bit of a walk in before we do this meet-up walk on Sunday. But I can walk without limping today, so that's always a good sign. But yeah, drop it in the comments. What would you do with Xerxes if you're director of football? And also topics that we can record today to go out tomorrow. So a single question or whatever for me and Ronnie that we can record after we've done XG files today and post tomorrow. Drop that in the comments. And if you fancy coming and joining us on Sunday, then check out the Patreon group. And I'll see you later in a bit.